This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, John Bell with Tulip Time at Old Prairie Town, Gene Howerter with the Combat Air Museum's Celebrity Pancake Feed, Kristi Pankratz and Jeff Imparato with Safe Streets, Detective Janene Falley with Code Red, and Kyle Moreland from the Topeka Library. But first, a word from your host.
Hello friends, it's been one of the truly greatest honors of my life to be able to share the stories of so many wonderful people doing some truly incredible things in our community. Don't worry, we don't plan on going away, but we would like to take our operations to the next level, and we've been working hard to build some truly invaluable strategic alliances to help us get there. Our new plan will allow us to greatly extend our frequency of production, accessibility, and outreach. A grassroots production like Talk About Topeka requires an enormous amount of time and resources to produce. At this time, my crew and I have been volunteering our time. We receive no compensation for the production we produce. Constantly creating a 100% free, local, and accessible community resource does not come without a price tag. Our gracious media partners and friends offer us a truly amazing opportunity to build this dream by indulging us in our experiments and giving us a home to spread the good messages of our community for years into the past and hopefully many more wonderful years to come. We want to grow our production. We want to continue building our audience. We want to continue offering a free resource and the opportunities for mom and pop businesses and local charitable organizations who need as much help as they can get in the marketing department. We want to continue building our oral history catalog to document today's history for generations of genealogists to come. We want to do an even better job of keeping residents updated on the amazing opportunities that exist to celebrate our community events before they happen. We want to continue to celebrate our community pride with each and every single one of you every single day. If we want to continue our mission, it requires that we ask you, our friends and neighbors, to make a commitment to help us get there. At this point, all of the costs associated with our production are being absorbed by my family-owned restaurants in downtown Topeka, Field of Greens, and The Break Room. We have never and will never charge our local guests to appear on our show. We are committed to keeping our production free and accessible to anyone who's interested in it. If you've been to our neck of the woods recently, you might have noticed that there are a lot of orange cones and construction equipment present on the streets and sidewalks in front of our stores. We are extremely excited with what's to come for our entire community with the completed Kansas Avenue project, but the hardships of construction have forced us to tighten our belts and retreat to survival mode. During this time, we are personally unable to continue allocating 100% of the funds needed to continue with production as usual. With your support, we will not only be able to continue spreading our community messages, you will be helping our grassroots efforts to grow and positively affect an even greater number of wonderful Kansans. Perhaps you've been a guest on our show and it's helped your business. Perhaps the charity you volunteer for was featured on our show and it resulted in new awareness that recruited more volunteers or generated more donations. Perhaps we were able to enlighten you about an interesting event or attraction, or maybe you're a loyal regular viewer and you appreciate our goofy sense of humor. If any of those are true for you and you're blessed to have financial resources to share with your community, won't you please consider making a contribution to us so that we may be able to continue and grow the outreach of our mission, celebrating the people, places, and things that make Northeast Kansas a great place to call home. There are a variety of ways to make your contributions through the links on our website, talkabouttopeka.com. Thank you so much for your dedication to us, to the last 3 years of our show, and into the future. And thank you for your consideration of monetary support as we progress. I'm Chris Schultz, and we love talking about Topeka. Won't you join us? We're talking about Old Prairie Town, specifically Tulip Time, happening all around Topeka, and I'm joined by John Bell. How you doing, John?
I am doing great, Chris. How about you?
Great to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
How have things been going down at Old Prairie Town?
Things are going great. We got a lot of things going on. Our first big event of each calendar year is our Tulip Time Festival. Mm-hmm. And this year, Tulip Time, it's held at 3 different locations. It's held at Ted Inslee Gardens at Lake Shawnee, Old Prairie Town's Botanical Garden, and then the Duran Rock Garden at Gage Park. So we have 3 different locations that host the Tulip Time event. And at Old Prairie Town, we have 45,000 tulips and daffodils planted. At Lake Shawnee, we have 60,000 tulips and daffodils. And then at Gage Park, we have 14,000 tulips.
I can't even wrap my head around how many bulbs that is.
That is
a lot.
Yes, it is a tremendous amount of tulips. It's amazing when the tulips are all blooming at once. It's an awesome visual. Great for pictures. If you're senior pictures or engagement pictures, they're great.
It brings people
photo
in from all around to look at the tulips.
Yes, absolutely. A couple years ago, I was just working Tulip Time, and I started talking to a couple of the patrons here, and just asking them why they came to Old Prairie Town to see the tulips, and they said they were from California, and they made a special trip to Topeka, Kansas, just to see our tulips. So that's really awesome. We get a lot of people in from Shawnee, that live outside of Shawnee County into Shawnee County because of the Tulip Time Festival. It is a big draw.
Certainly, absolutely. A lot of summer stuff coming up here?
A lot of summer stuff coming up. We have once we're done with Tulip Time, our next big event is Weedstock. And Weedstock, if you like live music, you have got to come to Weedstock. It is one of the most enjoyable events that we have. It is the 3rd Saturday in June, so I'm thinking June 20th. I think that is the date. We get about 25 local musicians that volunteer their time and energy to come out. It is an all-day event. We'll start at 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll go till 9 o'clock at night. We do not mandate a fee either at that event. It's just suggested donations. And it's really a special event because the amount of talent that we have here in Topeka, we have a lot of great local musicians. And this is one of the few ways that we showcase a large group of them. Every 20 minutes, a new person takes a stage. So it's a constant. If you don't like this person, there's going to be somebody else coming on next after that. So it's a great way. You get to see a lot of variety, and it's just really a unique and special event and fun.
So get Weedstock down on the calendar there. And now, you were telling me a little bit before we got started some news that about a sound wall. Now, this is going to help your ability to do events at Old Prairie Town.
You're absolutely right. We are in the process of fundraising and hopefully getting close to getting final approval to get a sound wall installed at Old Prairie Town, and it will separate the property line from Old Prairie Town and I-70. It'll run in between our property line to help eliminate some of the sound that we get coming off I-70. Anybody that's been to Old Prairie Town, you're familiar with the amount of noise that's coming off the highway because we're really close to I-70, and
it can be a burden and a blessing at the same time.
That's right. Yeah. We have a lot of outdoor events, a lot of weddings, and it's really hard to do anything outside that involves sound. So this is not going to be a elimination of sound. We're still going to always have some sound, but our hope is to reduce it enough to make the experience at Old Prairie Town better and also create new events. We have the Friends of Ward Mead volunteer board. They have a number of activities and events that they would like to start, but they're waiting until we get the sound wall, so then they can, it'll open some doors for them to do some things outside that we currently cannot do.
That's spectacular. Spectacular. We're seeing some great growth with.
That's right.
We've seen so many wonderful things coming from Old Prairie Town, and it's good to see that we keep making that investment to keep things getting even better.
Absolutely.
Right.
That is correct.
Now, I was told that you might be flipping some pancakes at the Combat Air Museum.
I think I am. I am.
Yep. That's April 25th, folks. That's the Celebrity Pancake Feed. Of course, John's going to be there. I'm going to be there as well. A lot of other media personalities, politicians, they're going to be there flipping your pancakes for you, and it's for a great cause to help out the Combat Air Museum. So lots of wonderful things. Got some great attractions in Topeka, and it's getting to be that time of year where you get out and check them out because, they're there for you. They're waiting for you. All you have to do is show up.
That's right. Absolutely. Come visit us.
All right. Thank you so much, John. Really do appreciate you coming by today. Joining us in the studio is my friend Gene Howerter. He's the chair of the Combat Air Museum. How you doing, Gene?
Doing great. How are you, Chris?
Hey, thanks for being here. Really do appreciate it. Yep. Now, we've got an event that's in its 22nd year. It's a big fundraiser you guys do every single year, and it's the Celebrity Pancake Feed.
Right.
Yep, that's a big thing coming up Saturday, April 25th. Tell us a little bit about this guy.
Okay, well, as you said, this is the 22nd annual celebrity pancake feed. And the way people can remember our celebrity pancake feed is that it's always the last Saturday in April every year. We've never had it on any other date, and we don't plan to have it on any other date. So people always mark off on their calendar the last Saturday in April. And same thing with our 5K, 10K run walk each year, which is our other big fundraiser. It's always the last Saturday in September.
September, yeah.
So that was a pretty good thing we've done to stick to those dates, because people will say, "Oh, I know, yeah, well, I don't know the day, but it's the last day of September or it's the last day of April." So
yeah.
So a lot of people said, "Well, we want to come, we'll be there," or they'll call the museum and want to get a ticket, or of course the tickets can be purchased at the door, and it's real easy to just pick up one real quick. We try to do our best not to have any lines or anything like that.
And you have two options there. You have the Combat Air Museum. You need to be checking that out. And while you're out there, check out the Kansas National Guard Museum as well. They're right there at Forbes Field, and there's some great stuff to see out there, especially to take those kids there and so they can understand a little bit about aviation and military history, all out at Forbes Field.
And then all of our local city council officials, and they're all invited, the mayor included, and we don't, it's our senators and stuff, and doesn't make any difference if you're Democrat or Republican. We invite you, and all they have to do is respond.
Pancakes and airplanes, that's what it's about that day.
And they can eat for free, so it's always nice to have them. So
excellent. Well, I thank you so much. Again, that's Gene Howerter with the Combat Air Museum, and you need to get out there. Make sure, I'll say it one more time, Saturday, April 25th for the Celebrity Pancake Feed. Thank you so much, Gene, for coming by. Joining us for a little crime talk and how we can prevent it is Kristi Pankratz, Executive Director of Safe Streets, and community volunteer Jeff Imparato. We're talking about National Night Out and how you can get involved in your community to make Topeka the safest capital city in the country. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Right. Great. Welcome to, we're glad to have you here. Kristi, we've talked before on the show. Jeff, you've been on the show as well. We've kind of talked in little different capacities here.
Sure.
But there is some amazing things happening with National Night Out. We talk about it a lot at the first Wednesday of the month, the Safe Streets Coalition meeting, and people can get involved there. That's one way you can do it on the monthly.
Exactly.
But you've got a planning event coming up specifically for this year's National Night Out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in order to get ready for National Night Out, we have to have planning meetings because this is a humongous event. And when you have neighborhoods planning meetings, they each have individual neighborhood events on National Night Out, and oftentimes they need help or support in doing so. So we think if we all come together for these planning meetings, we can help answer questions, give ideas, generate conversation amongst people. So our very first planning meeting is coming up on April 21st. It's a Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. at the library. Jeff, what room?
101B, middle part of the library auditorium.
Marvin Auditorium, that's right. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about at that meeting?
We're going to be, well, basically we're going to give everyone a packet, and we're going to go through the packet indicating what we expect and what they can. It's a free event, first of all. It has to be a free event. It has to be an alcohol and drug-free event. And encouraging them to talk to their neighbors, to get to a centralized place. Then basically we go through the list of what our expectations are, and we also have some ideas from other neighbors from the previous years, and just trying to make it a fun event so that neighbors can get together with neighbors to know each other.
What's important is to get people talking.
And it's important to come to the event so you can come to the planning meeting so that you can hear the success stories and you can hear some examples of how other people have done it well and what went wrong too. So they'll talk about it. They'll be honest about it. So, yeah.
Those guys, the last time there was a group of kids
From Jardine Middle School.
Yeah, they saved a guy's life.
Yeah.
And it was just really good that they had some good role models, good parents that taught them how to be, good role models, good teachers in school, teaching them how to be good role models. And
absolutely.
Man, if that stuff doesn't enlighten your spirits and just bring you up to a higher place, seeing other people around. It gets really depressing looking at crime and crime and crime, but when you see the people that are fighting it and you see the people that stand up for what's right, that really raises the spirits.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does.
And that makes you realize that Topeka can be, and will be, we're going to say it will be, the safest capital city in the country. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate that.
Thank you.
National Night Out is August 8th, so make sure you get that on the calendars. And then if you want to plan, be sure to be at Marvin Auditorium in the library April 21st. That's a Tuesday evening for the National Night Out planning event, and find out all kinds of information about that. What's the website for Safe Streets?
SafeStreets.org.
All right, and you've got a Facebook page, so people should like that. All the whole 9 yards there.
Yes, we sure do.
Very good. Well, thank you for everything you guys
Thank
do.
you.
Thank
I know
you.
sometimes it's a thankless job, but somebody has to do it. Well, thank you for doing it. Joining me is Detective Janene Falley with the Topeka Police Department, and we're talking about a program that we want to make sure each and every one of you know about, the Code Red program. How you doing, Janene?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm going to tell you, Detective Falley. Can I call you Janene?
Janene's
All right,
perfect.
good. Very good. I never know what to call people, but you're here in my place, so welcome to my home, and glad to have you here. Let's talk a little bit about Code Red, because I learned about this at the Safe Streets Coalition meeting this last month, and it was really interesting to me, and I feel a lot of people need to know about this. So tell us about this program.
The Code Red is sponsored by the Emergency Communications Network, and it's a system that the Topeka Police Department, as well as the Shawnee Sheriff Office, they share the budget for this service. And it's free service that we extend to our Topeka, Shawnee County residents, and it's basically a 911 system, reverse 911 system, and so it's an ability for us to get a lot of people notified in a short amount of time of important messages.
Absolutely. In our brochure here, there are several different kinds of examples for what you might be contacted for by the Code Red system. Boil water notices, criminal activity, evacuation notices, fires, floods, missing person cases. These are all examples of things you might be trying to contact folks to tell them urgently that they need to know this information. So these people are really, it's important they sign up. How do folks sign up for the Code Red system here?
There's several options. Some of it doesn't really involve the person themselves. If they are listed under public record, then the Emergency Communication Network can actually extract that data, and they will download it to a file that's secure. They're actually located out of Florida. And so I don't even have access to records. And anyone that is signed up to our database, that information's never shared, so it is secured, just in case people are like, hey, wait a minute, why is my name getting included? So that's one way, without trying, that people can be signed up. Otherwise, we need people voluntarily to get them signed up. So especially if they no longer have a landline and they're strictly on cell phones, we cannot get that information. So we need people to call in either to my number, 785-368-9247, or there is another number that 368-9590. Both call into me. So if they don't have a computer, call me and I'll help you get signed up. But they can also go on our website under topeka.org, and there's about 3 different locations under the topeka.org website to get signed up. Probably the quickest and easiest is to scroll all the way to the bottom of their front page. There's a way to scroll through the bottom. There's some pictures, and if you click once to the left, you'll see the Code Red emblem.
Okay.
And so that's about the easiest way to get signed
You can
up.
sign up right online there.
A notification that we want to go out, it's geo-located, so if I can either draw it on a map or pinpoint specific addresses as to where we specifically want the notification to go, and then it will alert the people at that location at every phone number, email that they have supplied to us. So they get a lot of alerts if they provide us a lot of information.
Wow, yeah, a lot of people don't necessarily know unless something's specifically happening to them. I feel like they may not know when to reach out or when to make that phone call, to the dispatch number, or however that works. But it's good to know that, and it's good to know that we have Code Red system here so that you can stay informed. Again, it's completely free. You can sign up at topeka.org, scroll to the bottom of the page and click over. You'll find find a link there. Or you can call Detective Falley at 368-9590 for information to get signed up. And I thank you so much for dropping by and telling us about this, because it really is very important, and everyone should be signed up to make sure we can keep Topeka as safe as possible, and even help with that Safe Streets goal of making Topeka the #1 safest capital city in the country, right?
Absolutely.
That's what we want to do. Well, thank you. That's Detective Janene Falley with the Topeka Police Department. Sign up for Code Red today, folks. We're here with Kyle Moreland from the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library, and we're talking about an event happening this week, National Library Week. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks.
Great to have you here. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining me. We went to high school together.
It did.
Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, right? But lots of great things are happening at the library, especially this week. Tell us about National Library Week.
Yeah, well, at the library, we never shy away from a chance to talk about the awesome things that the library can offer the community and the people there. But this is a whole week throughout the nation dedicated just to doing that, to lifting up what libraries contribute to the world.
It's really cool. Now, you were telling me a little bit before, and there's a national theme that goes along with this, but you have the choice to choose between that theme or to choose something else.
Well, yeah. The American Library Association puts this on and everything. We decided to go a different route, and we thought, what can we do to really blow this up? And of course, the logical conclusion we came to was library-themed Taylor Swift parody music video.
Yes. I'm
Obviously.
excited. I'm excited. I haven't seen this video, but it's available online. How are folks watching this video now?
It's on our YouTube.
Okay.
And you can also go to the tstpl.org and be routed there.
Okay.
It's called Check It Out.
Check it out.
Hashtag Check It Out for the social media
So
savvy.
don't shake it off. Check it out.
Yes, don't shake it
We're
off.
not
This
shaking
week, it's all check it out. Check it out. Yes.
All right. So what's the goal with National Library Week?
Well, we want to get people using the library, and so let's check it out is kind of a dual purpose for us. Obviously, when people think of the library, I think a lot of people think getting books and whatever. So check it out is for that, but we also do a lot more than books. Movies, music, even random things like we have cake pans to check out, and art supplies, and exercise equipment. So
you don't even have to go to the library to enjoy the benefits of it. That's really cool. Get the library card, which you can get online. I went down there and got a new one for myself, but you can get that online. And then you can use that library card online. So you can use all from the comfort of your home. So many things, magazines, books, pretty cool stuff.
TV, music, all streaming.
A lot of people have no idea about it, all the broad services that we have here. And this is a double whammy week here at the library. We've got the Week of the Young Child.
Yes.
All right, tell us about that.
Yeah, another thing the library is big on is those really wee ones, the preschool age kids, 0 to 5. And this is a week, another national week to highlight the needs of those children and families, and also to kind of recognize the people that work with those kids. We know it's such a critical time for learning, so it's a week all about that as well.
Yeah, and you've got a great section for kids. I don't have kids, so it's not like I go hang out there all the time, but when Diana took me on a tour of that a while back, and just to see what the experience for kids is like at the library, it's such a great place for them.
Really engaging.
I mean, little boats with books in them, and I was shocked because it wasn't the typical shh, don't touch anything kind of place.
We are not a quiet library, yes.
You have quiet spaces.
Quiet spaces,
cool.
Yes, of course.
Yep, and so many people in the community use the place. It's like Grand Central Station there all the time. Of course, this is the Week of the Young Child as well, so bring them out and experience the place. If they haven't been there in a while, well, make sure, because it's going to be a magical experience for them to experience all of the cool things available at the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library. Kyle Moreland, thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. You bet.